What's happening? What's going on, y'all? It's Joseph R. Wheeler III, artist, founder, president of the ONYXCON Foundation. Getting everything set up here for this. Another Sunday, actually. Sunday ought to be good. Sundays always give me good numbers. People be chilling on Sunday, so I always get a lot of people on the live at some point on a Sunday, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, hope you're doing good. You know what I'm saying? I hope you had a productive week and you enjoyed your time with your job, your family, whatever you have to do in a day, in a week, what have you. I'm back out here, as you can see. I'm on the grind, you know what I'm saying? It ain't just a fashion statement, even though it is fly. This is one of my favorite hoodies, actually. But I wear this especially when it gets a little cool and need to have on something, because it's not like cold today, but it's breezy cool. It's like 67, but it's drizzling. So yeah, I ain't trying to play with the weather. I have to put something on when it get a little breezy like that. I ain't trying to have no way to let the cold energy in. We ain't trying to hear it. So yeah, I hope you're doing good wherever you at. Kick in if you're one of my subscribers and say something beautiful and let me know where you're at in the world and all that kind of good thing. I'm on a live for my Instagram, because we have multiple Instagram pages. If you didn't know, now you know. And it's as you know, we do multi-niche content, so we cover a lot of bases here. Over there I split it all up, because in the tradition of how I started my social media, I really got going like most of the, the order of events. I used to have a way back then, the ONYXCON didn't even exist. I was about to say MySpace. I had a MySpace personally. When ONYXCON went live on social first, it would have been Facebook. Then we had our YouTube, and for years our YouTube just sat and really was not active. It wasn't until the pandemic that I said, enough is enough. I need to drop some. I need to get about that life. Just go for it, man. I need to be a solid YouTuber, a hardcore YouTuber, and I haven't looked back or regretted it since. You know what I'm saying? I look back all the time to see my progress, but I don't regret becoming a YouTuber, because even though it's incredibly hard to get these numbers and get monetized, I see it happening. I can see it happening, and whenever I can see something, let's go. That's it, period. I ain't worrying about nothing else. It's gonna happen when it's supposed to happen. It's gonna happen. So yeah, shout out to Two in the building. Appreciate you. Put some thumbs up for me. Let's get them up. Appreciate you. But yeah, I was over there and I was going live for them, and I was talking to them or whatever, telling them to subscribe. Not only there but here. And over there on Instagram, it's only 99 cents. 99 cents. That's $11.88 a year. And they get the best of our feed at ONYXCON. Then we have some other pages that are not monetized yet, that those are still free. You know what I mean? Even asking for subscriptions. It's just, appreciate that. Thumbs up in the building. Appreciate that. We got ONYXCON Outdoors, ONYXCON Style, ONYXCON Fitness, ONYXCON Music. Which one am I forgetting? I always forget one. Fitness, Outdoors, Style. Oh, and Rides. And ONYXCON Rides. And then, of course, just ONYXCON. So 14 in the house. What's good? The whole world coming up in this thing. That's what I'm talking about. Sundays, I said it. Every Sunday, whenever I go live on a Sunday, it always pops. So I appreciate seeing the number. Let's make it worth something. Give me some thumbs up. Give me some thumbs up. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you from? Talk to me. Talk to me, people. Oh, that's right. You can't talk to you not a subscriber. Yeah. That's what we do. We got troll block. You know what I'm saying? I would not use social media if there was no such thing as block. If there was no block, I'd get out there with a bunch of people trying to get themselves eliminated, talking crazy. No, I'm not gonna do that. But thank goodness they have block buttons. It's a beautiful thing. I don't do timeouts. And I got tired and I had to figure that out, how that works on here. That, once you set it up where you can't say anything unless you're a subscriber. I said, oh, this about to change the whole game. Because suckers don't ever want to support you. They just want to talk shit. You know what I mean? So you can kill a lot of that noise. If you do YouTube, that's a tip. Because some of us, you're growing in it, and you may not know that you could do that. Because a lot of buttons and a lot of stuff to consider. So you can do that. Thanks for the thumbs up. I see you. Appreciate you. So, yeah. I was talking to my people over there. I was like, look, y'all, we got 17. It's funny. We used to have 17.8 thousand. We're now at 17.4 thousand. Let me tell you how numbers work and how people are and how fragile they are and how hypocritical and crazy they are. So two things happen. Like I'll tell you the most recent thing first to make it make sense. It was 17.5 earlier in the week. I reposted something from the legendary hip hop group Public Enemy. Anybody that knows Public Enemy, I need not explain who they are in the history of hip hop as a culture, and particularly the music. But as far as I'm concerned, all right, and views and opinions expressed by yours truly do not necessarily reflect those of, y'all finish it up for me, for any of our sponsors, affiliates, associates. It's just me speaking my piece, whatever I want to feel about it as your host. But it doesn't necessarily reflect everybody involved in my organization as a nonprofit. So, and another thing as a nonprofit, can't tell you exactly. I can hint at whatever I want to. I can talk my talk for myself. Like I said, I just gave my disclaimer. I don't mind letting you know who I voted for. I don't mind letting you know I saw her as the proper candidate and I pre-voted, okay? Been voted. What's up? What's happening? Who is that? Let's see. Pause Dead in the house. Pause Deads. Okay, I know who that is. I think I know who that is, because they come in my lives a lot, and I appreciate you. What's up, buddy? Tell them where you from, Pause Dead. Tell them where you from, and help me remember. Because if you're who I think you are, I think I remember who you are and where you're from, but tell us. Anyway, so it's a serious election going on and everything. It's always serious when it's a president, but it's serious anytime. I tell people that some people only vote for the president and don't vote for all the local government stuff, and don't realize you can't help the president push in the legal things you need if, I'm sorry, I just saw somebody shooting a firework or something in there. I don't know what that, I was like, what's going on? What's that? And it didn't look like a firework. I'm really not even sure if that's what it was. It was like some little glowing ball, and it was smoking and going over this store. Like, what the hell? All right, now, don't y'all set it off while I'm out here trying to just get this work and get out of here. Anyway, so there was a make sure I got everything I need. Yeah, we good. All right. Anyway, there was a situation where I posted up this thing about Public Enemy, the group, and it was magnificent. It was really creative and hilarious at the same time, and well spoken and well created. If you're a fan of music in general, you might remember one of the Beatles' famous album covers from the 70s, The Yellow Submarine. And The Yellow Submarine had a whole like animated cartoon style album cover and storyline and stuff that went with it. Now, I'm not going to perpetrate and pretend that I was that I've ever been a huge Beatles fan, but I like some of their music, but that was not my generation. That was not my vibe. Even if it were my generation, it just wasn't my thing. But I respect their legacy in music. I understand who they were in music, and I respect what they were able to do. All right. So Public Enemy, being the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inducted group that they are and legends that they are, they had some artists imitate the style of that album cover and do this illustration series of characters that look like them and that look like different made up characters to represent their standpoint against a certain candidate that they are not favorable of, because they feel he preaches, and I agree, hate and disorder and disruption, and wanting us to go back to extremely archaic times for this country, So it was a brilliant post, and it's one of those where you had to keep swiping over. I think it's about like 10 different images, right? So, we have our main feed at ONYXCON on Instagram, and then we have our subscriber feed. I wanted everybody to see this, so I posted it in the main feed. I wanted to make sure it was something everybody saw. At first, I was going to just share it with just the subscribers. I said, no. Everybody needs to see this, because I want them to understand how brilliant this is and enjoy this, if they would enjoy it. You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of my supporters and people who follow ONYXCON would love it, right? But nothing surprises me about one thing I've learned about numbers. once you pass, which is why I feel they have that number, that 10,000 mark, they say that's when you become monetized on Instagram. 10,000 is a very special number in human consciousness, because it makes me realize once you hit that number, you can really get into the divisions of how people think. You can really get into the divisions of and the fears that people have, and all of the lies that they've been told, and what they believe to be true, and all of that starts coming out. All right, all the hypocrisies and weirdness, because until you hit a number close to that, you know, whoever's a fan of yours, like right now, like I said, these are the golden years of ONYXCON on YouTube, because we have just over 1,132. That's a strong number, but it's literally genuine people like yourselves, most of y'all anyway. The majority rules, it's mostly a lot of people who genuinely like what I'm doing. You know, I've come to realize that y'all be the real ones when the number is this low. When it hits about 5,000, it starts bringing in another percentage. Now you might be at like maybe, like right now it could be at like 70. I would even say 80-20. You know, like there's maybe 20% bots and fake people who really don't love what you're doing. They just there to just be nosy, and they just want to troll, and they just want to lurk and see what you're doing, and you know, that kind of nonsense. But then there's like 80% strong, real. Them people down, man. They really love what you do every day. They here for it. They enjoying it. They you know, they the ones who give me the thumbs up. I see you. Thank you so much. You know, they the real ones. And then everybody else is that other stuff, you know, and there's a lot of bots and a lot of, you know, AI bots are real. People create this nonsense, these hackers out here, these scammers and all this stuff is real. It's really bad, you know. And so you got a lot of that. But like I said, okay, so where the number we at right now, we might be 80% solid real people, 20% fakers. We get to about 5,000, it's going to probably drop to about from 70% real ones to about 30% fakers. You get to about 10,000, you might be about what else? Did I say 70? I said 70, 30. Yeah, I did. So you might be at about 40, 60. You know what I'm saying? 60 real ones, 40 fake stuff. So what I'm getting at is that every time the number gets higher, like people see a number like for somebody who's a celebrity like The Rock, who I honestly genuinely love as a personality. I think The Rock is one of the most dynamic, phenomenal, charismatic, entertaining, just brilliant entertainers of our time. That man he's just a good person at that, you know. I love The Rock. I think Dwayne Johnson is a legend, and he deserves all of his fame, and he deserves all his money. He deserves every dime coming from what his whole story about the $7 and how he built his companies, and he's phenomenal. I love The Rock, right? But you can't have that many. Like I think they say The Rock is the most followed person on Instagram. I forget if that's true. I know he's one of the. If he ain't, he's like definitely like number 2 or 3 or something crazy. I don't know. I forget what it is. But whatever that number is, when you get to that level, all them people don't really love you. You know what I'm saying? There's a giant percentage of those people there that they might, you know, I don't even want to say the phrase, they can't stand your guts. They don't know you, they don't know your guts. They don't know you, they don't really know you. They just know what they think they know of you, and they don't like something, or you represent something they'll never be, and they're jealous as shit. That's a big part of that. Then you got people who, you know, they'll never look like you. That's the other level of jealousy. The guys who hate you because all the women love you. The family folk who can't stand you because maybe you don't have the same values as them on certain topics or whatever. You know, it just goes on and on and on, right? It goes on and on. It's even all the way back down to your roles as an actor or in entertainment, as a wrestler. People can't, they don't like Final Boss and how he played that character, okay, when he made his big comeback last year. So they still mad about that. So they don't really like you, but they still follow. They still follow. So you're going to still have the number. This is the moral of the story. This is what I'm saying. You'll have the number, but then is the number legit? Is that really your number? Is that really how many people support what you're doing? No. They just there taking up space. So what I've learned in translating that into my own, much smaller numbers, but still important numbers, is I realized with y'all, I'm like, I done finally got the first part of the monetization requirement. I've got tens of thousands of views on my content, but I only have 1,000 and a few hundred, or a little over 100, 1,100 and whatever that is, people who supposedly support. But what I could really do, and I'm not that good with math to know, okay, what percentage, what's What's 10%? I'll just say 10% to be nice about it. What's 10% of that? I don't know. I mean, what? It's probably that. It's probably that 100 and something, right? You know what I'm saying? Out of the 1,000, it's probably that 100 and something that ain't really real. They ain't really here for the love. They just lurking and trifling and or not even real human beings, just bots that taking up space so they can clock your emotions and try to send you ads and try to, you know, scam you somehow, whatever. All that nonsense, right? So when you know that that's how it goes, you're just not as upset. You don't take any of it personal no more. And that's why I love the block button, because then you don't have to see them. So it's out of sight, out of mind, and you don't have to play with your own mind and think, you know, is somebody really trying to get at me? Like, am I really unsafe? Do I really need to load up all my cartridges and, you know, buy some more ammo? And this ain't real life, man. These fools these some simp ass little chumps. They're so irrelevant, you know. But you got to be real enough with yourself to start analyzing it on that level so that you don't get too embedded in the BS. So like when people be talking about, hey, what's up, steampunk potato, I see you, what's good? You know, when people start talking the nonsense, it's like you don't even get fazed because you know, okay, I see what it is. But it's good that they have, like I say, it's the best thing, that damn block button. I love it. I love blocking, elimination, and do away with. Because you got to have boundaries. You got to have boundaries. And so here's what happened on our Instagram that made me realize how that really works and how fickle the real people who still ain't real, you know, got the real ones and the folk who ain't real, how they can be, and how one opinion can literally drop your numbers. Like when you see somebody who's super famous go from 1.2 million to just 980,000, and you're like, damn, they were just a million a day ago or whatever. And that's rare, I would guess, on some of those kind of people, because their numbers, and then also some of them folk be buying their people and all that stuff. I've never used one of them companies that they say they buy you followers and stuff. I'm like, man, if you ain't really follower, I don't want you. You know, I don't want to add more bots, because that's all that is to me. If you say I'm buying, what am I buying? You say I'm buying numbers, that ain't no real people. Or again, even if it is real people, it's not real people who really love what I'm doing. So that's bringing more drama to my page. I don't want that. I want only realness. Either, you know, and it's hard to find the real, so I'm gonna still get some fake. So let me at least let it all be growing organically, and I pick off the pest. As you know, my garden gonna keep flourishing, but I'm gonna go in there, you know, spray my natural pesticides, you know, put up my blocks and get rid of the little slugs and grimy bastards that want to eat up my product, you know, before I can eat. You know, we're going to have the harvest. We're not going to let them destroy nothing. We don't work too damn hard. We're gonna guard the fort. You better believe it, right? So, yeah, appreciate you. Somebody's feeling it. Said exactly, you know. So, here's what happened on Instagram, for an example. It was around this time of year. It was Halloween. I think it was Halloween last year, if I remember right. And a buddy of mine who's a legend in the film biz, good friend of mine in Hollywood and stuff, he has a show. They have a show called Sherman's Showcase. I've been on the show as an actor. If y'all don't know, I'm an actor, I'm a writer, I'm a producer. I say that all the time. I don't hide that part of my life because it's part of ONYXCON. I share some of my experiences as I can when the non-disclosure agreements pass, and I can start talking about my experiences on set and stuff, because I want to encourage other people who might want to do that stuff to know what it really is to be on set, not just fantasize it, but like what it really is, right? So anyway, good buddy of mine, Diallo Riddle. If you don't know, you know his face if you don't know his name. I always say that because a lot of people know his face more so than his name. But yeah, Diallo's my homeboy. We go all the way back to elementary school. So anyway, his show it's got an underground cult following, sort of. It's one of them shows. The show is executive produced, partly executive produced, of course, by him and the other showrunner, Mr. Bashir Salahuddin. For those who say, well, who is that? Again, names you might not know, but you know faces. Top Gun, the new Top Gun, the black general who gave Tom Cruise's character and the other guys push-ups when they had done some mission that they didn't have authorization to do, and they got back to the base, and he's like, yeah, okay, you think you're so hot stuff, drop down, give me 50, and all, you know, and they supposed to be so high on the rank that they ain't over him, so they still had to give him the 50 or whatever. That's Bashir. And he had other parts in it, but I just remember that was in the trailer, and it was a funny little moment in the trailer that most people remember when I say it. So, yeah, that's Bashir. So anyway, good peoples too. That's the homie also. I know Bashir. So anyway, Man, this one of them days where you feel hot in the car, but if you get out the car, it's that cool air that's gonna have you getting sick if you just standing around in it damp. So you gotta play with the temperatures. Anyway, so here's the story. They do a show called Sherman Showcase, which I don't know if Sherman's gonna get another season or not. I think it might be over, but it had a great run. They won an Emmy. Come on, you know what I'm saying? They doing big things, and they got other shows coming. So anyway, and they also did the show Southside, if you didn't know. Yeah, about Southside Chicago. And Bashir starred in that also, because on Sherman's he was Sherman, and on the Southside show, he played the cop who be in the car, the real straight-laced, narrow, real kind of corny cop with the lady who's his partner, who actually in real life is his real life wife, which is amazing that they both acting so well in that to be a couple. They blow my mind. Phenomenal work. But anyway, they did an episode of Sherman Showcase where they were making a joke about Instagram models. I'm gonna say that again. They were making a joke. Because, you know, in this world where, you know, I don't agree that everything should be made fun of, but I do have enough humor about me that if something is within, and everybody got their own margin of what is funny, and I get it. So if someone's offended, they're offended. But some stuff is just because people just, they're not a student, they're not well-rounded enough. So when they're offended, it's like, man, you don't know enough about life to be offended by nothing. You need to grow and all right, y'all, as we continue. So the story went that they had an episode of Sherman Showcase where, and if you don't know the show, it's kind of like a spoof of the legendary Soul Train from the 70s meets the Electric Company meets Solid Gold. Now, if you under 35, hell, if you under 40, you probably don't know some of the shows I just said. If you're 35 and whatnot, you're gonna probably know Soul Train. If you're any younger than that, you probably ain't gonna know about the other shows. So look them up. It's good history to be aware of and all that kind of cool stuff. But basically, they did a spoof of Instagram models who always want to claim to be so religious, but they doing all this extra slutty stuff. Now, I don't automatically label stuff slutty just because you showing your ace, okay? I'm talking about in the way they go all out sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like it's more about what you do than what you're wearing. And then what you do is how you do it. You know how they say the phrase, right? So anyway, that was kind of the joke. And it was a girl who was a model, and she's looking all extra hot in the picture. Well, hold on, let me tell you. So in the original show, it was a whole song because they do all these musical style songs. And the girl was like, I'ma drop it low for Jesus. And it's hilarious. And so she's basically dropping it low, like, you know, she's twerking and stuff, but she talking about, but I'm doing it in the name of the Lord. So it's supposed to be, you know, still ordained, it's okay. But that was the joke. It was like, yo, this is all just like translation, leave religion out of it. Like, I'm not even religious, but that's like, that was the joke. Like, yo, this is gonna piss so many people off. Like, why would you even do? But that was the joke, right? So it's, you know, it's intelligent humor. You either smart enough to get the joke or you're not. And this hottie online or whatever, who's known for being not only an IG girl, but she's got her OnlyFans and she's an OnlyFans legend. So I mean, you know, for what girl? How do girls become legends on OnlyFans? You know, it ain't they just showing themselves. They come on, they doing the other stuff. They doing the P work. You know what I mean? So it's like she got that kind of page, and she had a whole bunch of followers, whatever, and she posted this thing, and she used the music from the Sherman Show. So me being a fan of the Sherman Show and of hot ass women doing hot stuff, it was hilarious. And she was in a costume, and the costume was like one of them, you know, S&M style, wet look, freaking nun outfit, like the craziest stuff that folk be wearing for Halloween sometimes. And so yeah, it was heavy on the sauce. and she's just like, she's like on all fours and she's wobbling, you know, she's making it wobble and all that. It was sexy as hell. Now, you know, I mean, I liked it. You know. Again, I can take a joke and I damn sure love what I was looking at, right? So I reposted this on the ONYXCON page as one of our Halloween posts. And we do a variety, you know what I mean? I got a mostly male audience. I knew they were gonna love it. Immediately the post got a lot of attention. Some people loving it, a few people hating it. Who were the haters? One particular hater, this dude commenced to, you know, get all verbal about what was foul about that, and he gonna write in the comments, you know, this really is so offensive because if this was offending certain other people's religions, you wouldn't even dare post this. And I guess he's trying to say, you know, because sometimes Muslim groups or other groups, you know, can get real warlike about offending their perspective on religion. You know, you wouldn't even do this if it was other people. And I said, well, you know, I wasn't gonna comment at first, but I said, man, bruh, first of all, it's a joke. I explained everything. I said, on behalf of my organization, we're just having fun with the season and sharing something that we thought my viewers might like. If you don't like it, you don't like it. You ain't even have to say nothing, man. Just unfollow if you were a follower and let it be that. And we can move on. Anybody got to get offended and crazy about nothing. It's not. Got skills. He could draw. He was really good. So for that alone, I see why he was on ONYXCON's page, because we represent the arts and we often post. I mean, that's where we started, was, you know, as a Comic-Con. So we post that type of artwork and things of that nature. And even this lady in her outfit was like cosplay style, you know what I'm saying? A lot of cosplay is super sexy and revealing and all of that, because they imitating the costumes of these characters and everything. It is what it is, right? You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody got to get all bent out of shape about it. If it ain't your vibe, leave the party. But don't be trying to shut down the venue, because the venue gonna still have other parties and you might want to come back. You about to burn all your bridges where you can't even come to the next party. It might be the one you want to be at. You know, so he messed it up, because I would have reposted his artwork easily. And so I made a point about it. I told my audience, I told him everything I'm telling y'all pretty much. And I was like, you know, it's a shame, because bruh could have been somebody we would have supported, because he played himself. I said, but to make it worse, because I blocked his ass, but before I did, I let him know straight up. I was like, you did too much, bro. You ain't have to you ain't got to get so silly. I said, but what makes you even look more silly? I said, okay, what I reposted was this sexy lady in a hot nun style outfit. It's not a real nun outfit. It's obviously all about being a sex sleuth and all that stuff. It's what it is, you know, whatever. If you ain't into that, leave it alone. Okay, cool. Gotcha. I understand. Here's where you play yourself, right? I looked through who he follows. And before I did that, I looked up. I said, I just off the top of the head, I said, I bet he's a fan of Megan Thee Stallion. He wasn't following Megan, but he was following Cardi B. I said, Cardi B in a nun outfit for Halloween. Bam, there was Cardi. Found it just as easy. And he was a follower of Cardi. Okay, so you ain't got no problem with Cardi doing it. Cardi, you all over the page looking at Cardi shake hers. I was like, man, ain't nothing worse than a hypocritical dude trying to seem more righteous, self-righteous, and righteous than he is. Just like, dude, that's why, like, when I give my opinions, I always say, look, it's just me. That's where I'm at right now. I never try to say never, because I know never can change. Just, life is lifing, man. Keep living, you know? And be honest with yourself about what you're into. You up here supporting Cardi B, and she had on a straight up nun outfit with her ass out one year for Halloween. You had no problem with that. You must not have, because you follow Cardi B. But you want to come at me about a girl you don't know, maybe because she wasn't famous enough for you to feel like you could support that ass, but you could support this other ass. Same thing. They're doing the same thing, but you follow Cardi. You coming at me as another man who's running a page, and he didn't know it was a man. He didn't know who was in charge of it. He just, that make it worse. You coming at a whole organization with, at the time, 17 point whatever it was, like I said, followers, and you trying to make your little point. But I guess he made it, because he wasn't the only one, because like the next day we lost like hundreds of followers, and I just laughed. I said, peace be on to them. And I hope some more go with them, because I don't want no disingenuine supporters. I want to know that when I make my numbers, it's the real ones, because that's all that counts. Indeed.